Hey guys, it's Kate. Welcome back to my channel. Sorry I've been away for so long. My work schedule isn't very conducive to like an editing timeline that I like. I work 3 days on, 1 day off, 3 days on, and then I have a whole week off. So hopefully in those like the weeks off that I have, I can do like 2 or 3 videos, and then I'm just going to take a week off. So it's not going to be like a video every week like I really wanted it to be, but I'm just gonna have to work. So this week I'm gonna come back to my bullet journal series, and we left off with bullet journaling monthlies, and so I wanted to kind of break it down even farther into bullet journal weeklies. Now there's different ways that you could do this. Some people like to do dailies, where you just have every day, you just kind of go day by day, you don't exactly do a weekly, and that's how I started. But I kind of wanted to break it down like month, week, days. So next time I'm going to do dailies. This time I'm going to show you weeklies, and I'm going to show you from my first bullet journal that I've ever had, which was this one from Michael's. It's just a plain old lined notebook. I'm going to show you the different kind of weeklies that I have in here. Now when I first started, this is kind of an example of how dailies would work and how I use a daily for a weekly. So we're going to skip that one. We'll come back to it next week, but I just wanted to give you an idea of kind of like how I used to do them. And then this is a weekly. So a weekly, I would sit down on, I used to start my weeks on Mondays. I now start them on Sundays, but I would sit down on a Sunday night and I would draw all of this out, this whole layout, and then throughout the week I would just fill it in. So how these kind of work is, if you kind of look closely, I would have the weather, what I was doing for my workout, and then this was a water tracker. A big thing in bullet journaling is tracking a lot of stuff because it's just really easy to track things like that. So I tracked water, I would track my workouts. I also had a habit tracker down here. So this was things like, did I brush my teeth all the time because I have a really bad habit of not flossing? Did I take my vitamins? Did I sing? Did I stick to my macros? And at this time I was doing yoga. Things like that. I would also track like my shopping. Obviously I didn't have to shop that week. And then a brain dump. These were things where like, okay, I was like, okay, I need to go do these, or I want things to do. Let's just pull this all in. So this is one of my first weekly setups that I did with the lined notebook. Now the next bullet journal I got was this B5, so it's a lot bigger than the lined notebook I had, so I had so much more room to play around with different layouts and fun stuff. So since I had so much extra room, I used it to make these nice big days, and then I realized I didn't really need that much. So it would do dailies kind of like this, and my weeks would last over 3 pages. So I'd have my weekly trackers, so all of my events I'd put into this little tiny tracker, a to-do list, habit tracker. Which one was this one? This was, I have severe back pain from herniated discs and sciatica, so I just kind of wanted to track like how bad it was, and then my meal plan for that week. And then I used these 2 pages to go through and do the dailies for both days, and then I would put something fun. This was a fun little lettering that I love to do. It just didn't work out for me. The boxes were too big. I felt like I was wasting space. So then I moved to something a little bit smaller. So as you can see, this one was in November. This is a little bit smaller. You have little tinier boxes at the top, and then all of the trackers are down on the bottom. So habit trackers, if I was doing my Instagram, to-do lists, event tracker, what was these ones? My next week, and then I was getting married, so I always had a little wedding planner, like things that I needed to do in there. So this is kind of nice because they're a lot smaller. I didn't have like so much like clogged up. The only thing I didn't like was having Saturday and Sunday in the same boxes. It kind of worked out though because I never really was doing much on Saturday and Sundays. Now with the bigger size paper, I was able to have a lot more fun with my different layouts. So there was this one. This is when I got married. As you can see, my wedding day was right here. So this is in December, and I tried to make it look like a candy cane, was what the idea was. It was something kind of fun and a little bit different. I mean, it worked, kind of, sort of. I obviously got married, so I didn't really like care that much. So I had like my wedding checklist here. I got married there. Like all these things, like, okay, I have to get there, I gotta get there. Let's do this, let's do that. And then I had my event tracker, my habit tracker, Instagram. And what was this one? Food. And then of course my to-do list, which was pretty long that week because I got married. So with the bigger size book, I was able to do a lot more fun trackers and a lot more fun weeklies, different designs. And then I moved back to this smaller one. So this one was a hardback. this is a softback, and then this just shows how like much smaller it was. So I had a lot less room to play with, but I never really filled out like the boxes. Like when I had like the big boxes on the sheets, I never really filled them out. So it was kind of nice to have a smaller book, because then I could just like fill in the smaller boxes. It kind of made more sense to me. So this is one of my favorite weeklies that I did. Inside each of the little dailies, I had a time tracker, and I would color code them to things that were happening during the day. So like blue was when I was sleeping, purple was when I was working out, brown was working, so things like that. And it was kind of nice to just see them all lined up like that. With the smaller boxes, I was able to fit less inside each box, which was fine because I actually didn't ever fill them up. Like if I did, it was a rarity. And then of course across the top I have all my trackers. So I had my to-do list, my to-dos for school. So this was like my home to-do list. Like I had to do some emails, and I had to tailor my competition suit, things like that. That's what I'd put in the tasks, whereas homework and tests would go into the school. And then I had my habit tracker, and then I'd always just put like a little like where in the month I am, because since it is a create your own planner, you don't really have the next week all laid out. So I never knew what, like, oh, when's the 26th? Oh, I'd look at this little one and I was like, oh, it's okay, it's a Wednesday, which was nice. And then horizon is what I started calling my next week, like, oh, what's on the horizon, what's coming up, because it was never like next week. As you can see, I used some of my Calendex, which I talked about in my yearly. I would put that in the horizon because it didn't make sense to put things that were happening like 2 or 3 months away into the next week, because it wasn't exactly next week. So that's what it kind of like turned into. And then I just kind of started playing around with the different sizes. So I went back to these like long, skinnier boxes, and then I was playing around with a lot of pens. So I did a lot of different colors. These ones were a metallic gel pen that kind of changed colors, which was really fun. My trackers, I decided to do kind of like this bar where every like 2 or 1 was an hour or so, and I would fill it up that way. So I had my habit tracker up here, and I started trying to do like a letter practicing in each one, just for something fun. So then I had all my days, and then the horizon and everything. It wasn't very fun and exciting. I didn't have like my workout tracker. I didn't put like water tracker. There's a lot of things like as you're building up and kind of going through your bullet journal, you realize you don't need all these things. You see a bunch of fun stuff on Instagram, but you need to kind of create your own and just kind of make it what you want to make it. So after I finished off this one is when I got my most recent one, which is this guy, which you have seen me use my last few. This is a Minimalist Art B5 hardback. Love this thing to death. It's so pretty, and it's pink and it's sparkly, just like me. And so when I started, I haven't used it that much, just purely because I've been a nurse and I haven't had time to really play around with it. So my last weekly, I kind of went back to the two spreads, and I had the events on one side, my trackers, and then each day. I found that I don't use all my trackers as much as I probably should have, and so I just kind of started getting away from them and trying to do something new. So my newest ones, and these are my favorite ones I probably have ever done. This is my weekly now. So 1 week, 2 week. Very small, very simple, and I want to go into a top-down view now to show you how I built this week, and then also what each of the little sections are. So to create the perfect outline that I like, I use a ruler, and then I will also use this Pentel Flare pen. This one's in orange, and then I'll go back in with a Zebra mild liner in bright orange to fill in those empty spaces. Now this is where I really get to play around with my lettering, and I use a Pentel sign pen to create the header, and then those Pentel Flare pens again to just do some little leaf doodles and color them in with some colored pencils. In a close-up you can see I'm now writing out the days, so on the left hand side those small boxes are going to be my dailies, and I put a little barbell and a heart for am I go to the gym or did I do cardio that day, and then the top big box is going to be my daily tracker, the middle box is my weekly tracker, and then the bottom big box is just my running to-do list for the week. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment down below if you are interested in bullet journaling and would like to see more of how-tos and plan with me's down below. Also comment if you like all my nursing videos. I plan on making a few more as much as I can. Please give this video a thumbs up. Also subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell because I never know when I'm actually going to upload, and so you don't want to miss out on any of the good content I give you. Alrighty, and other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!